What's up, everybody? It's your man Hurls doing a special episode of the HeelCast this week. I am going to be reviewing Zero Fear, which was a one night only exclusively on the GWN network. I kind of want to do more of these in the future because I think these one night only shows are definitely getting a lot better. They're not the ones that kind of were under the Geburick era. These ones are definitely ones that you want to watch. If you have the network, there's no reason to not watch them. But this event I thought was really fun, and it was probably one of the better ones that we've seen come out of the one night only series so far of 2018. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. The first match that we had Matt Seidel fought Desmond Xavier in as you can guess, a really great X Division match. It saw Matt Seidel got the win. One of the cool things that we saw in this match was obviously Desmond Xavier doing the X19. That's always a cool move. But Josh Matthews actually said he got clearance to use that move from Rey Mysterio. So that was a really, really cool, interesting tidbit. So that match was really good. A good way to start the show. I enjoyed that a lot. So the second match we got were two guys that I've never seen before. They're not part of the Impact roster. They were two independent workers. Ace Austin, who kind of had like a Gambit style gimmick with the cards and kind of like a magician thing he had going on. He took on Mr. Atlantis, who had a very interesting look to him as well. He calls him the Godfather of Swole. So it was a pretty decent match for two guys that you really didn't know much about. They played up their gimmicks pretty well. Ace Austin did some pretty cool things in the ring. I think if he sticks with it, he definitely has a future in the business. But ultimately, it was Ace Austin getting the win over Mr. Atlantis. It wasn't a bad match. Then third match of the night, we had the Desi Hit Squad. We've seen them on some other one-night-only matches, but this one they had Gamma Singh in their corner. So I believe this was the first time we've seen Gamma Singh in an Impact event. I mean, they were kind of hyping him up a few months ago, saying that they signed him. So it was good to see Gamma Singh in there, and he actually cut a promo, so that was good. But they fought the team of Aiden Prince and Quicksilver. Those two guys did a pretty good job as well, but ultimately, as you can guess, the Desi Hit Squad got the victory. It's a good way to kind of, build them up a little bit before they kind of debut on Impact. So that's a good in itself. So I enjoyed that match for what it was. Nothing real too big, but good enough. So then the fourth match of the night, we had some knockouts action. We had the returning Casey Spinelli, who seems to pop up a lot on these one night only pay-per-views, and she turns up on Explosion, some Twitch events, but she fought Madison Rayne. I thought this was a pretty good match. Casey Spinelli is definitely quite a talent. She does well for herself in there. She gets a good reaction from the crowd, so I'm not sure why Impact hasn't used her more often, but she does a lot of good things in there. And then Madison Rayne, what can you say? We've seen her so many times. She does really good stuff as well. And she started using this move, her finisher, the Cross Rain, which is a little different take on the Crossroads. But usually she does the raindrop, but not here. She did not use it here. So it was a good knockouts match. Madison Rayne picked up the victory. It's kind of what you expect from these two if you've seen them for a while. I enjoyed the match. So there was a lot of funny jokes being played on Josh Matthews, because everybody knows that Josh Matthews is married to Madison Rayne. So Casey Spinelli made some threats to Josh Matthews, saying he's going to kill your wife and blah, blah, blah. So that was kind of interesting. So it was a decent little knockouts match. And then fifth match we had some comedy action. We had Stone Rockwell and Fallah Bahh. They took on the team of, they were called the Fraternity, Channing Decker and Trent Gibson. As you know, I'm a huge fan of Stone Rockwell. I think the guy is gold. He's got a very funny gimmick, kind of doing an Indiana Jones spoof. He's actually, apparently he's from the town of Jones, Indiana. So I think that's pretty funny. And him and Fallah Bahh actually worked pretty well as a team, and they did a lot of funny stuff. And if you watch, Stone Rockwell is very over with the Canadian crowd. So the guy has a very good gimmick. He's over with the fans. I think Impact should use him more if possible. But yeah, very entertaining match. And Fallah Bahh, he's over as well. So you get those two going, doing their comedy thing. Very fun match. And the Fraternity looked good too. I mean, they had their little college gimmick. It was a little more played up maybe than some of the college gimmicks we've seen in the past, like Phi Delta Slam. They worked well together as well. It was a fun match. So then we had probably one of the matches of the night next. It was Eddie Edwards and Trevor Lee. And this match was entertaining, as you will see in any wrestling match. These two just really tore the house down. They were using chip bags as weapons, Pringle cans as weapons. They even used popcorn. The crowd was super into this. They started doing some very hilarious chants like Holy Chip and Doritos chants and popcorn chants. It was a very good match. Eddie Edwards playing the crazy role very well. Trevor Lee does what he does. These two just had the crowd in the palm of their hands, and they just tore the place down. Very, very good match. It's one of the matches of the night. I don't know if it was my favorite, but it's definitely top 2, 3, somewhere in there. It was very good. So that's one match you will definitely enjoy if you watch this. The next match was for the Knockouts Championship. It was Katarina, formerly known as Winter, taking on Su Yung. I'm a huge fan of both of these knockouts. They've done some great work over the years, so I was very excited to see this match. I'm surprised that it first happened on a one night only. If you remember last month at Cali Combat, we had Katarina versus Taya Valkyrie, and Katarina ended up getting the upset victory over Taya. So I was very interested to see how this was going to go against Su Yung. The match I thought was pretty good. They didn't get a lot of time, but they did a lot of really cool stuff in the ring. The fans were not into it as much as Eddie versus Trevor Lee, but for what it was a very good knockouts match. I would like to see these two, have another match again. But very good. Su Yung picking up the victory and retaining the title. Both of them, in my opinion, are very over with the fans, and they deserve to be where they're at. So, very good Knockouts Championship match. Then next match, this match was phenomenal. We had Sami Callihan versus Josh Alexander, the Walking Weapon. Josh Alexander's kind of an unknown. He's not well known in the States. He might be more known in Canada, but this guy is a really good wrestler. Like, these two tore the house down. They had a great match. Also a candidate for match of the night, and another guy that Impact has used on some Twitch specials and one night onlys. He can go, and Impact needs to look at possibly signing him to a deal, because him and Sami Callihan had a really good match. It might have been actually one of Sami Callihan's best matches in Impact, and it's against a guy who's not even on the roster. So that's, got to say for something. But these two, the crowd was probably, they were really into this match, and it was just a really fun match. And Josh Alexander's very over. So when Josh Alexander, he was in his hometown, his home fed, with Destiny Wrestling, it's probably, it was a really fun dynamic between these two. So if you watch this, you will really enjoy this match. Sami Callihan gets the win with the get out of here. So fun little match. Next, we had Austin Aries. He defended against Rich Swann. It was actually for the Impact World title. Now, did Rich Swann deserve a title shot? Probably not. But, having said that, this match was another really good match. And the crowd was really into it. Rich Swann was really over. Austin Aries gave a really good promo before the match. One that, a lot of Impact fans probably won't see because it was a one night only, but he gave a great promo on how, Impact is the company where maybe sometimes we're misfits, or we're miscast, or people doubt us. People say we have this, people say we have that without really knowing us. It was just a really strong promo by Austin Aries, who he built up Rich Swann quite a bit, but also said that he's going to win the match. And he gave a lot of praise to Rich Swann in the promo, and I thought it was really well done. But Austin Aries ends up winning with the last chancery the second time. Rich Swann hit the kick, his finisher, like 3 times during the match. Really fun match. They did some crazy stuff in the ring. Crowd loved it. It was a very fun match. It was good to see Rich Swann. This was his only second time being featured on an Impact event. His first one being Penta Does Iowa. But you'll have a blast watching that if you do end up watching it. Good stuff from those two. And then finally we had the main event. It was Pentagon Jr. versus Eli Drake versus Moose. Now, I will say, before we had this match, they actually showed the press conference they had for Slammiversary. We got to hear Austin Aries talk. We got to hear Moose talk. Austin Aries really gave a solid heel promo at this press conference. It was very well done. These two, I can't wait to see this match. I think it adds more. I'm hoping Moose kind of gets more fire to him going into that event, because Austin Aries definitely brought it. And then some of the other interesting tidbits you got to see from this press conference was the whole Chris Jericho Cruise. You got to hear from Don Callis, you got to hear from Scott D'Amore, and you got to hear from Ed Nordholm. And Ed basically said, "Why aren't we going on the ship? We're definitely going on the cruise." So it wasn't the greatest promo, because Ed's not a wrestler, so he's not going to give the greatest wrestling promo, but it definitely accomplished what it needed to, setting up the whole Impact Wrestling being on the Jericho cruise. Whatever comes of that, comes of it. I think it's going to be entertaining no matter what. I'm not saying that Impact's going to be in some partnership with Ring of Honor, or Jericho's coming to Impact, which could happen, but I'm not going to say it is. But the press conference really kind of planted the seeds, so to speak, of something happening like that. So really fun, really cool thing that they're doing with Chris Jericho. So anyways, going back to we were back in the arena for the main event, and all three men got backstage promos with Mackenzie Mitchell. I thought Eli Drake had a really, really solid promo. Moose had a really good promo. Pentagon Jr. did very well as well. All three men hyping up the main event. Before the match, Eli Drake got out in the ring and cut a really good promo, basically saying that so much bad luck happened to him in the week prior, but he told the crowd that he's got to get to Mississauga. So that was a really fun promo. The fans ate that up. He did a really good job while still insulting the crowd. So it was still maintaining that heel moment, but very, very fun promo by Eli Drake. Moose comes out to a big reaction. I think Pentagon Jr. probably had the biggest reaction of the night. He was super over, but the match was really, really good. Very good triple threat. Pentagon Jr. ended up getting the victory. He pinned Eli Drake. He hit his finisher. Solid main event. Just the whole show was really good. Probably, I would definitely say the best one night only of the year. Just because of the just different things that kind of made the matches stand out. You had the press conference that you didn't get to see on Impact, not the full thing at least, and you had so much different crowd interaction in this one that it just made it feel pretty special. So very good show, very fun. I watched it with a buddy of mine, and we both really enjoyed it. I'd give the show a solid, for a one night only, and it's kind of got a house show vibe to it. I would give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10. I don't think everything was perfect, but 8.5 out of 10. All the matches were really good. If I had to go match of the night, I would say Eddie Edwards versus Trevor Lee, or Sami Callihan versus Josh Alexander. Those two were really good. Then probably third, I'd go Austin Aries, Rich Swann. That was really good. And then fourth, I'd probably go the main event. Those ones were the ones that really stood out to me. But you had a little bit of everything. You had comedy. You had great high-flying action. You had good feuds. You had a little bit of everything. It was just a really fun event, and it's kind of one of those things where you're glad that you pay for the network, because they give you some really cool stuff like this. So yeah, if you have the network, or if you don't have the network and you're thinking about getting the network, definitely get it, because shows like this will make it worth your while. And then not only that, you get all the bonus content of everything Impact that's ever been produced. For the most part, they don't have all the Impacts up from like 2006 to 2015 or whatever, but still, it's just a really good app. There's so much stuff on this network that you can watch, and I think it's worth the $7.99 a month. I'm a huge Impact fan. You have to take that into account. But even if you're, maybe thinking about getting into Impact again, it's something nice to have. So, but overall, I plan on doing more of these kind of quick shows. We're going to be hopefully doing some Twitch special reviews, and definitely keep up with the one night only shows. So, Zero Fear, 8.5 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'm Hurls. I'm part of the HeelCast. I will see you later.